This looks so good. I've been waiting for this day for so long. What's up everybody? Welcome back to the Taste of Outdoors YouTube channel. It is another beautiful day here in Texas, but it is also extremely hot. So apologies in advance if you guys see me sweating a lot, and ladies, look away right now because I might be too hot to handle. Alright, anyway, I've been in the market looking for some outdoor fixed blade knives for quite some time, and anything that I'm liking is $400 or $500 and they're very expensive. What can I say? I like expensive things and I've got a very expensive taste. But that's what I thought. Why can't I make myself a knife? And that brings us to this Farrier Rasp that you see in my hand. So basically what I'm going to do today is make an outdoors fixed blade knife out of this Farrier's Rasp. I got these Farrier Rasps for about $4 each, and I got like 10 of them, so if I mess up, I've got plenty. So the Farrier Rasps are great for this purpose because they're made of high carbon steel. They are already hardened and are very hard, so you don't need a forge to go do the heat treatment of it. I don't need any expensive tools. I don't need a forge. All I need is an angle grinder and a belt sander. Honestly, you don't even need the belt sander. You can just use the angle grinder to do the entire job, but I think the belt sander would make my life a lot easier. So everything that you see here is under 150 bucks. So the first step is to smooth these down using the angle grinder. Let's do that. All right, nice and smooth on one side. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, now that we have both the sides nice and smoothed out, the next thing we need to do is draw a profile of the knife that we want. I'm not the greatest artist, so I practiced a few shapes beforehand to see what I like. And I think I want something like this. This is something I'm looking for. Next, I'm going to draw the same shape on the rasp and hope for the best. Okay, let's give it a go. Start here. Okay, so the one thing I wanted to make sure in this video is I give out enough information for anybody out there who's watching this to be able to replicate this at home, because I did a lot of research of what's needed and what's not, because this is my first time making a knife. I'll try to be as detailed as possible for you to understand the steps and the processes. I'm using a 4.5-inch flap disc, which I can use for sanding. All right, now that we have the profile of the knife, I'm going to start cutting and shaping this rasp using my 4.5-inch angle grinder. All right, we've got the shape of the knife cut out and it looks pretty good. I'm impressed. For my first time, this is amazing. It feels good in your hand. It's nice and solid. And because of this texture, it's got a really good grip. I love this. This is amazing. Pretty neat, huh? All right, so the next thing to do is to start putting an edge or a bevel on it. I'm gonna use my belt sander here and start off with an 80 grit sandpaper. Just make sure you always have some sort of a safety equipment when you're using these machines, because you never know, man. Accidents happen. So before grinding, what I want to do is mark the center line for the bevel. All I'm doing is taking the same size drill bit as the rasp, laying it flat, and marking my center line. Now that I have the center line, this is going to help me have equal edges on both sides. All right, my sweet wife got me some mangoes, so it's time for a quick break. That was great. Now back to work. You can see it's coming together really well. I'm just loving the way this is turning out to be, man. This looks so good. I think another few more minutes of grinding and I can get a proper edge on this one. Alright, I've got a sharp enough edge, but I need to hone this edge a lot more. So I'm going to switch out this 80 grit belt for 120 and sand a little bit more. You can get this anywhere on Home Depot or any online website.
A few moments later.
Alright, this thing is getting very sharp. It's got a crazy edge to it. A beautiful bevel. But I promised my wife I'm going to take her to a birthday party today. So I'm going to put this down for today and I'll pick this up back tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Alright, we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday. The more I look at this knife, the more I like it. This looks really good. I'm going to keep sanding this on a 120 grit belt and then I'm going to keep progressing to get a more refined edge. I wanted to mention this before I start. It is very important for you to keep the same angle that you started off with. I'm going to do my best to keep the same angle. Even if you don't, it's not the end of the world. Your bevel is not going to be perfectly centered. You will still have a really good functional knife. So don't feel bad or feel discouraged if you don't have a perfectly centered bevel. Alright, a couple hours of sanding and polishing and this is how it looks. Just look at that beautiful finish. Absolutely incredible. It might not be razor sharp, but it is pretty sharp. Sharp enough to get things going. I started at 120 grit, 240 grit, 400 grit, 600 grit, 800 grit, and 1000. Look at it. Beautiful, man, beautiful. Now that we have our knife ready, it's time to make the handle. And for that, I've got an amazing piece of exotic East Indian rosewood. I wanted something reddish in color. This has got a nice hue of red in it. It's like a deep reddish color. This is gonna make a very pretty handle. East Indian rosewood. I got it off of Amazon for, I think, about 20 bucks or something. I'm gonna cut this piece of wood into blanks and then go from there. All right, I've got an 80 grit sanding belt and I'm gonna sand these down until they're nice and smooth and flat. Nice and smooth, pretty flush. If you cannot see any gaps, that means you're good to go. All right, guys, I am tired. We got a lot of work done today. We got our knife done, we got our blanks done. The next thing is to start drilling some holes in the knife and in the blanks. Put them together, pin them, put some epoxy, let them set for one day, and that's it, we're done. This is going to be a very beautiful knife. I'm already excited for it, man. A couple more days, we should be done with this. I'm going to put this down for today. It is late. The sun's about to set on me. I'll pick this up tomorrow. Okay, today we're going to start with drilling holes in the knife and in the blanks. And I hope you guys can hear me because it has started to rain due to the excessive heat in Texas. So since this metal is already heat treated, it is extremely hard. And as you guys can see, I am unable to drill through it with the drill bits that I have. So I'm going to cheat a little bit over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heat the handle until it turns blue and mess with the heat treatment. Make it a little bit soft and then drill through it. It is hailing outside. As always, my lovely wife made me some lime soda. You can see how I blued the metal. I'm gonna let this cool to room temperature and then we should be able to drill it. This bluing of the metal will also make it a little bit rust proof. Whew! This turned out to be trickier than I thought. So I had to run to the store, get a corded drill and even stronger drill bits. And that seemed to do the trick, but only for 2 holes. I could not for the life of it drill through the front hole. But I think 2 holes should be more than enough. I'm not really worried about that. The second thing, these 5-minute epoxies are great, but they're a little too fast for a first timer. I would recommend getting an epoxy that takes a little longer to set. But other than that, it looks pretty good. I got the handle on. I've put these clamps on it so that I have enough pressure. I'm gonna let this sit overnight and tomorrow we're gonna start shaping the handle and finishing this off. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, it is day 3 and our handle is looking nice and set. I'm gonna take these clamps off now and start grinding away to form the shape of the handle. I got a rough shape using the 80 grit. Now I'm going to use the 120 grit to start polishing it up. All right, now that we have our handle done, I'm going to start honing the knife by using this whetstone. This is a 1000 grit whetstone. Then I also have a 6000 grit whetstone on the other side. All right, guys, we officially have a knife. Just check that out. This looks so good. I've been waiting for this day for so long. This looks absolutely amazing. Holds really good in my hand. Beautiful handle. Just check that handle out. Just check it out. Absolutely amazing. I sanded this all the way up to 1500 grit. But look at this, absolute beauty. Man, I'm super excited to use this on my camp outs. Oh, pretty sharp. I'm just afraid I might cut my fingers off. There you go. It only took me about 3 days, but I spent only about 2 hours per day on this project. If you guys have 6 hours to spare in a day, then this is just a 1-day project. But I hope I gave out enough information for anybody out there who's watching this to be able to do it at home. This is a very easy project for anybody looking to get into knife making. And keeping with our theme, everything's under $200 over here. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and learned something new today. Get out there and start doing things that you actually want to do. But that's it for this video, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!